Yeah, same shirt. Just feel like I keep going with this. Hello guys, welcome. If you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. You are now doing part 4 of my top 10 overrated Doctor Who stories. And as I said before in my previous videos, I recommend you watching these all from the very beginning so you understand my rules for what makes a top 10 overrated stories list. Just want you to know. Also, again, remember guys, every story on this list, I see why people love it. I see why people think it's the best thing in the world. It's just not my fave, or I find it overrated for one reason or the other. Now, let's get into the top 3 in the honorable mentions. Now, coming at number 3, we have, again, I beg of you guys to hear me out before you make a quick judgment and say, oh my god, you're awful. I'm going to give my reasons. And again, remember, I see why you love these stories. Please, 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 please understand that. Okay, so now to my number 3, we have from the 10th Doctor's 3rd season, Human Nature, Family of Blood. Again, hear me out beforehand. Those of you who saw my previous video of Human Nature, Family of Blood, sorry if I'm repeating myself. You've heard this all before. You're going to hear it again. Sorry about that. With Human Nature, Family of Blood, okay, it's very easy to get into the atmosphere and the ambiance behind that story, because the idea of, it looks good, the production value is very good, it does look good, this is a two-parter that looks great, but it's also a two-parter that the more you think about it, all the problems you find in it if you just accidentally keep looking hard enough by pure accident. So I did one day. It was pure accident. I was watching this story and I was like, wait, hold on. The premise is actually kind of terrible. And when I say terrible, I don't mean the original premise that was in the book. This was a book before it became a episode. It was the 7th Doctor's story. It was a story about him. And it worked there. The premise was changed to accommodate a 10th Doctor with Martha Jones. And here's what I'm going to say about what I love about this story. I think Martha's character was wonderful. She shined in this. I love Timothy. I love Jenny, Martha's friend. And again, I love the atmosphere and I love the production value for this story. But the fact is, the premise is just not very good. Because let's explore the premise. We have the Doctor, a character, a Time Lord who has faced down Daleks, Cybermen, Ice Warriors, the Great Intelligence, Autons. Let's see, other scarier things before. There are plenty of things I'm just forgetting about. He even faced Sutek before. He has faced androids before. He has faced so many other things. Oh, scary clowns, scary clowns. He once faced scary clowns. He's faced off the Master, but now all of a sudden he's being chased on a ship by people who, if they become corporeal, do this. And his idea of running away, not only does he run away, he runs to an environment where his companion is going to be in an environment where she will experience racial degradation, and in a time period where people of color, women of color, were still suffering under abuse as well as they were being raped sometimes. You don't want to open a history book? Fine. I can't stop you, but don't stop me from opening up a history book. This was the era where if you were a woman of color, you could suffer under sexual abuse to the point of rape, and you had no one to report to, because nobody was going to believe you if the person who you're reporting to is Caucasian. Just a fact. It's not my fault. I'm not going to, and that's another thing. People want me to ignore that fact about this episode. I'm not going to. I have every right not to. So he sticks her in an environment that he knows, if he bothered to actually know his history, which the Doctor should know his history, why the 10th Doctor is ignorant of loss of civil rights or inequality in our world is weird. The Doctor was aware of inequality when it came to racial differences in our world before. I don't know why New Who act like it didn't happen. Either way. So, sticks her in his companion in an environment where she is going to most definitely undergo racial, discrimination. At best. At worst, abuse. Mix that with that he stuck her in an environment where if the family catches up, not only can she have a hard time defending him and looking after him, but also the people who are there will be in danger. Oh, and look what happens. Look what happens. The family of blood does catch up with him. All this death, destruction, everything happens. People have died. Even a little girl died. And the doctor, it does not even register to him visually. We never see him react to the fact that his actions got a kid killed. No register. I can take this stuff happening if this registers against the doctors, if he verbalizes it. But here's the thing. All of this happened while he's mistreating Martha, while she's saving him. Then we have Nurse Redfern and him being a little heartbreaking and mean to Martha. I'm not just talking about them falling in love. They degrade her. They are bad to her. And Nurse Redfern, don't give me, oh, she's a product of her time. Remember, William Wilberforce was 100 years earlier in England fighting for equal rights. At this point, if you do not respect people of color, that is you choosing to give in to a discrimination of your own times. No, don't give me that. Don't give me that crap. And even if she does, even if she's justified for being like that, she is justified for being like that, there's no great enough change in her for me to care about her character. She is still the way she always was, probably at the very end. Then mix that with the fact that the doctor, after Martha went through all this, invited Nurse Redfern to be on the TARDIS with him, not caring about how this could affect Martha, not caring about the fact that Martha went through all this for him. He never apologizes for any of it. He never apologizes for any of the death and destruction that has happened because of him. This all happened because he did not stand his ground and defend and fight his own fight. Even worse is, how did he overcome the family of blood? He stumbled into their ship and just pressed a few buttons. These not even explained what those buttons were. We just know that these are going to blow up the ship. That's all of this build up, and that's all it took to bring them down. Really? And again, I said it before, I'll say it again. Guys, I could forgive this episode and see a reason for this episode if the doctor just simply had at the end confronted, wait a minute, Martha, I'm sorry about all this. I should have stuck you in a better environment, or maybe I should stop running from my own battles. If there is a verbal confrontation of what he did, then maybe I would be fine with it. But the doctor never verbally confronts this. And with us writers, if we don't verbally acknowledge, have our characters verbally acknowledge something, then that something does not exist. If there's no verbal confrontation of their intention, the intention is not real because we did not say it. You have to verbalize your character's sentiments for the sentiments to be known to the audience. You can't leave things up to things being implied. And if the point of this story was the Doctor is absolutely awful, well, I knew that already sometimes. I knew about that about the 10th Doctor. I didn't need another episode for this to confirm this. But again, what's the point of this entire journey? The Doctor, at the end of the day, he's not very different at all from what he was before. And Blink confirms that. He's still doing the same things where he's using his companion as a support system / sugar mommy. You don't know what a sugar mommy is? Look it up. What's a sugar mommy? That's my point there. Sorry, I'm sticking with it. I see your love for this episode, but again, all this journey, and for what? The Doctor's ultimately the same he's ever been, and you could even argue after this, he even gets worse sometimes. There's just no point. I'm sorry. Again, I see why you love this story, I'm just not crazy about it. Now we get to number 2. This is going to be a quick one. From the 12th Doctor's era, oh god, from Series 9, the first 2 part of the Magician's Apprentice, The Witch's Familiar, that one. I just do not like that story at all. I'm sorry. Guys, I know why you like it, nothing happens very much in it. It's just a lot of style to hide the fact that it's not really much happening at all. It's a slow build up. It's also the Doctor on that tank thing. I know some people love that thing, and I said I love the 12th Doctor actually playing the guitar. I think it's a very cool image, but the way it's forced. The coolness is forced, and it's like, really, this is just so, no, I just don't like this story. it's just so overrated to me. I don't get the love for this story. I just don't. Sorry, but I see why you like it. I just don't. Okay? And now comes to our number 1. From Series 2 of New Who, we have, this is going to really piss you all off, Liquid Courage. Liquid Gold Courage. Series 2, the 2-parter, Rise of the Cybermen, The Age of Steel. I'm going to be quick about this because I don't want to talk about this too much. This is a story, okay. This, I know a lot of people love this story, and I think it's because it may be your first time seeing the Cybermen, and it was still, you know, New Who was still new for you. So, it was, of course, large. It was incredible. It was incredible to look at. There were all these Cybermen here, here, and here. But the fact is, 1, this story is not original. It is Tomb of the Cybermen meets the Inferno from, again, 2nd and 3rd Doctor story. It's just those elements combined. Then we have all this villain who is so annoying to listen to and watch. The camera angles are disgusting. The way the villain was directed was awful. Like, literally, the villain is just hamming it up. He is not a likable villain. And I don't know if I should blame the actor or the directing, because directors can be awful and could ruin an actor's experience. And again, like I said, is it me? Or is it the way it's shot? It's just ugly to look at. Like, it has this silvery look, and I was trying to go for this silvery feel, but it just feels so glossy to the point where it just feels, ugh. And then we have, oh God, again, Rose Tyler's mom, Jackie, and then with the husband, and then Rose Tyler's, and you know, all of this soap opera drama that just holds it down for me. It just pulls it down so much. And again, I know people love all that drama that was around Rose and the doctor and her family, but for me, oftentimes it can be distracting to a story, and it's like, you just can't build characters in this one episode that we care about. You're going to bring these characters back from Rose's past, and again, it's just all so soap opera-y, and it's just, soap opera-y, oh God. It's just something about it, guys. I see why you love it, because, of course, it has a special place in your heart. It's the first time you saw Cybermen, but I've seen Cybermen before, and it just, I didn't like almost any character in this. I liked Mickey overall, but almost everybody else I found very annoying. And then with the Mickey and then Rose and the doctor being in between them, him forgetting about Mickey in this one moment, or Mickey's like, yeah, you're gonna go after her or me. So you're always gonna go after her. You're never gonna go after me. And then it's just all this drama. I'm sorry. It's just not how I want to spend my day. It's all it is. I know people love that stuff. I'm just not crazy about it. I see why you get it, why you love it, but it's a lot of large epicness to hide the fact that there's just something about this story is not fun to enjoy for me, personally. That's it. Now comes to our 3 honorable mentions. We have the episode, again, the end of Series 2, I find to be overrated, Doomsday. But I put it under honorable mention because there still are a lot of things about it I do like. What I don't like is how the Daleks are so superior to the Cybermen. I wish that Cybermen were allowed to be equally as strong as the Daleks and we get more of a fight there. But then we got that cockamamie ending, oh God, where the Doctor and Rose are on the beach, and the doctor says, I'm burning up a sun to say goodbye to you. I don't care. First of all, we're never given an explanation about where that sun is, but still, I don't care. If that sun is from Pluto with all the suns around it, you do not burn up a sun to say goodbye to someone. You don't do it. That is just pure master. You are terrible at what you do. Like, how can you do that in the name of the Doctor? There's that. Then there's Blink, an episode I absolutely love, but it's overrated just simply because I think there are so many other Moffat stories and other stories I like watching more than that. But I mean, I love the story. I just think it's a little overrated. That's it. Then, of course, last one we have is Midnight. Go back and watch my first Doctor Stories list. I think Midnight is overrated simply because it's a good story, but it's not original. It's a reimagining of the first Doctor story, The Edge of Destruction. So, thank you guys so much for watching this end of my list. You guys were awesome. Hope to see you again very soon. Peace out.